Hello. As I hit myself in the face. Hello. On today's training, I am going to walk through the indexing report on Google Search Console to really explain each of them and whether you should care or not, and things that you can do if you do care. So, I will share my screen and we can get started. Okay, so I have one of my customers up who had asked for me to give an explanation of her indexing report. Because as you can see, she has 573 non-indexed pages. And so her question was, should I care? And a lot of times you shouldn't. So I'll walk you through each of the errors and then kind of explain what you can and cannot, um, I don't know, look at. So, um, hold on one sec. My daughter. Okay. So if you scroll down here, so again, I'm on the left-hand side, pages. Then you're going to see this why pages aren't indexed. So, first and foremost, page with redirect is what it sounds like. It means that there is a redirect on whatever this page is. So, for example, you see this like Moments in Light Photography homepage. That's because her redirect goes to just momentsinlightphotography.com. Same thing with this www.momentsinlightphotography.com. It goes to the normal without the www dot. So if you think about all those little variations of getting to the same place, the www dot, not having the www dot, maybe having the homepage if you're a WordPress blog, all of those different variations. So like here, even the HTTP without the S, right? Those are going to say it's redirected because there is a main governing page on your sitemap. And in this case, it's her normal homepage with the HTTPS and out without the www dot. Um, the other things like we did do some redirects when we rebuilt her site. So some of that is that. Or it's like these like again, this about page, I've redirected it to a new URL. So anything in here, you're just going to make sure that there is like if you do want this page live, so let's just say this one, right? If you do want this live, then you just need to make sure that there is a live version of it. Um, but it just totally depends on like what's in this report. For her, I'm assuming the majority of this, there's a live version of it. Because even like this family photography, right? So if I go back to her homepage, um, and go to family. Um, okay, there we go. Sat there. So like you'll notice on the page index report, it says family photography. I redirected that to Houston family photographer from a keyword perspective. So it's a it makes sense why it says it's redirecting. Okay. So that's this report. You can go through, see if there's anything that doesn't make sense. Um, Next thing is going to be excluded by no index tag. So these are going to be pages that we have specifically asked Google not to index. Now for her, when we transferred her blog, I'm guessing a lot of this is blog related. So we might want to make sure that these we don't want indexed, right? Um, so this is something I can look on the back end of her WordPress and be like, okay, is this blog, although these are all feeds, so I think they're actually like they're not the actual blog post. So again, this dash feed tells me that it's not the main blog post. It's like a duplicate, kind of that same concept of the uh the other error we talked through. So like you'll notice the blog without the dash feed works. So we don't need these ones that are dash feed. Um, and if I wanted to double check even that like this blog was indexed, I would just copy paste it up here about the feed. And I can see that it's indexed on Google, so I don't need the one that's dash feed because you don't need duplicate indexes of the same page. So again, that excluded with no index, most of the time it's going to be deliberate, like it's going to be your 404 page, your contact page, your privacy, your terms. And then if it's not those pages, then you just want to click in and make sure, like in this case, it's all these dash feeds, and we don't need the dash feeds. They're like duplicates for WordPress. Um, and like some of these other like backups and stuff that are old from her old site, like again, we don't need any of that. We don't need her WordPress login page. So again, not concerned about anything that says no index on her report. So going back to here, next one is alternate page with proper canonical tag. Canonical? This is going to be a similar concept. So these pages are going to have some other version of it indexed. So, for example, this Moments in Light Houston family photographer, we were just on that page, right? So if I go here, you see it's her main Houston family photographer page, okay? So then I'm going to go here and I'm going to type this in up here and it's going to say it's not on Google. That's an issue. However, if I remove the www dot, my guess is that that is indexed. Oh, it's not. Okay. So what I'm going to do, scroll down here. And you can see this is the one that's the main canonical whatever tag, and it is on Google. So you can kind of scroll down, like if you're worried about it not being indexed, in this case, it was this Houston family photographer. Even though it looks almost identical, I can hit inspect, and this one is on Google. So a version of this page is indexed on Google, and that's all we care about. Um, So you don't need every version of it indexed. You just need to make sure your main one is indexed. So if again, if I go back and hit paste here and you scroll down, you can see user declared the tag, canonical, whatever, and you can hit inspect and see that if as long as this one is on Google, that's the main sitemap URL, then you're fine. So you're welcome to go through and kind of make sure, but often this means that there is just a prior sitemap priority page that's indexed. So, you might look at this and be like, oh my God, like all my main pages aren't indexed. Well, if you, whoops, trying to hit the copy button here and my Zoom thing is in the way. So if I hit copy here and go up here, again, like, oh, I want this indexed, right? And then I'm going to hit inspect down here and it is indexed. So again, that's your way of double checking that the core pages are indexed. Um, so these 404, these are going to be it's blocked for some reason. So this is a WordPress admin. This is your login page. So it's like, okay, not a big deal. I actually want that to be blocked. So you're just gonna and these errors, you're gonna double check that you want things to be blocked. So these not found, I want to say, okay, what is pinging on a 404 right now? And it looks like it's some sort of blog that isn't optimized. I'm good. So just make sure on any of your 404 errors, that's going to be pages that cannot be found that you actually want them to not be found. Then we get to the important ones. So discover or crawled, currently not indexed. That means that Google has looked at them and basically determined that they're not important. So in some cases, this is going to be like for her, she has some older blogs and you'll see that they were last crawled November, October, like whatever. Like some of these blogs are from 18, 19, etc. How Google will deprioritize, especially in the age of AI, content it doesn't consider quality. So if you do have blogs that are crawled and not discovered or crawled and not indexed, um, you can choose to say inspect URL if you think it's just an error, or it's an opportunity for you to provide more context, content, quality, update this blog, and then ask Google to recrawl it. So in this scenario, like from a blog perspective, um, she has a keyword in here, right? Houston baby photographer, but there really isn't a lot of meat to this blog. There's these two paragraphs and then pictures. So Google's like, it's not important content, right? It doesn't need to be indexed on Google. So if you really want to index for it, you're going to want to make sure you're writing additional information. Sorry, I'm seeing an issue with her on here of like additional headers and additional context, like really quad amping the quality of the blog. So if you do have blogs like that, even if you think they're quality from a header perspective, did you use AI? Is it tagging it because it thinks it's AI written or that it's possibly not quality in some way? So these are opportunities for her to either just re-request indexing. Again, you can do this inspect URL or um choose to increase the quality of those blogs. Because again, what that crawled, not indexed means is it's aware of it, but it decided it's not important. Same thing with this kind of discovered. It's not even crawled at this point, right? And it's going to be one of those things, like these are all these older blogs for her again. But I'm going to look at this one, for example. Solving the problem of what to wear in photo sessions could be a really good blog. So what she would need to do in this case is probably add some additional headers, um, and make sure the copy is at least 500 words, at least. So again, probably just re-optimizing this blog would get her traffic. So anything that's under this discovered not currently indexed or crawled not currently indexed, these are opportunities for people to increase their content, increase their quality, and or sometimes it's just a mistake and you can just hit inspect URL. The one thing I'll say is like don't hit inspect URL 50 times in a day because it will get mad at you for that. Choose a couple high priority ones and then move on. Um, from what I'm seeing, all of hers are mostly um yeah, they're all blogs. And so it's either saying they're not good enough quality, like most of our blogs are too short to index, or there might be duplicate content out there. But I would guess a lot of this has to do with just her blogs being really short, legacy blogs, and so therefore it's not indexing them. So anything you see on these two sections, though, that means you're not going to get organic traffic from these two, the crawled not currently indexed or the discovered not currently indexed. I'm going to go to my site just to make sure there's not any other types of errors that I can explain here. Well, there you go. So again, this redirect error, I haven't looked at mine in a while either. Um, so I need to double check for this redirect error. There must be something wrong with my redirect. Although I think this blog is live, so I guess I don't. Yeah, this one's live, so I don't know. But sometimes again, I'm like, I think it's fine. Um, but this is going to be another one of those errors where it's you can kind of guess, right? It's something to do with the redirect. Um, and I'm just going to hit validate fix, honestly, because I think there's nothing wrong with these. And then we'll see. Um, so that should be enough, at least, to explain. Again, you can click in. These will change every once in a while, but a lot of times they're going to be things that you can just check out and make sure that it makes sense, and then kind of move on from there. So Doo-doo-doo.